I've heard a lot of people talking about the newest episode of JW Broadcasting, the Jehovah's Witness show they produce every month. It's getting stranger, if you can believe it. So I figured we'd take a quick glance at some of their weirder moments. Let's get into it. The whole episode is all about how to brainwash somebody, how to keep them in the religion forever, so they never escape. At one point, they even say,
"We initially arouse a person's interest by telling him about the hope of everlasting life in paradise. That's indeed scriptural. But is that in itself building in such a way that the person will survive a fiery trial of faith in the future?"
The whole premise behind that clip is that you can sucker people into joining by giving them the carrot, but you're going to have to give them the stick too. You have to program it in or it isn't going to work. The carrot isn't enough. They use this analogy about building the belief system on a solid foundation rather than a foundation of wood and straw, which is easily ignited.
The takeaway point from 1 Corinthians chapter 3 is to do our best to build in our students or children fire-resistant materials. We want them to remain, to endure the tests that are sure to come their way.
So that's what the whole thing is about. It's fascinating to hear them justify bad behavior, programming a personality into their followers for the greater good. An ends justify the means mentality. Anything is justified as long as it serves the greater good, which of course is defined by the governing body. So ultimately anything the governing body wants you to do is justified by definition. Literally anything. Eventually they take a turn and start talking about Armageddon and how close it is.
Why is this more urgent than ever before? It's because all indications, scripturally and circumstantially, point to Satan's evil system of things coming to an abrupt end. The physical indications of Matthew chapter 24 and the bizarre temperament described in 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5 become more and more precise as we watch the scene of this world unfold. We can expect even more opposition and persecution from those who are opposed to our resolve to stand on the side of Jehovah. Our brothers in Russia and other lands are experiencing this now.
This is basically them saying Armageddon is right around the corner and that Bible prophecy is being fulfilled before our eyes. And we have to do everything we can to bring in as many new Jehovah's Witnesses as possible before the other shoe drops. I find it interesting that they mentioned the Russia situation at the end of that. It's true that Russia banned Jehovah's Witnesses not long ago, but honestly, Jehovah's Witnesses have been banned from some countries since their inception. It isn't much different, though for the record they have been mistreated there. But they chose to use a picture of a dude that famously straight up looked like a cult member. He was being arrested in Russia for assembling as a Jehovah's Witness, and the smile on his face as it happened was disturbing, enough to make your skin crawl. The vacant smile of somebody who thinks with someone else's brain. But apparently, they got some complaints about how graphic some of their videos are. They said they haven't shown their kids anything like that on TV, and they're worried about their mental health as a result. And that's a sound concern. Kids' brains are still developing. Seeing certain things can be dangerous for them. Seriously. There's a ton of psychology on the subject. So how'd they respond to that criticism? Take a look.
In recent years, the organization has reminded us of what we can expect as the Great Tribulation begins. Do you remember this video clip from the Pursue What Builds Loyalty video series shown at the 2016 Regional Convention?
And your faith has led you here as loyal servants of Jehovah, confident that Psalm 97, verse 10 applies to you personally. Jehovah is guarding the lives of his loyal ones.
Oh shit, they're pulling out the old bunker videos. I love it. Well, looks like we're going to be reviewing those again. They went pretty hard into doomsday mode back in 2016, probably because of the election, who knows. Anyways, they played this video that Apostates called the bunker video, where these Jehovah's Witnesses are depicted as hiding from the authorities in a basement because they've been banned worldwide. Let's watch the rest of the clip.
Where are they? Check the basement. Shut that door.
so honorable, so brave. Honestly, it doesn't get closer to a Christian nationalist country than the US right now. There's absolutely no way in hell Jehovah's Witnesses will ever be banned in the US. Not in this political climate. But people are going through something similar right now in other parts of the world, like Russia. In fact, they've been going through this in China since day one. This isn't new. They act like the world is changing rapidly. Did they ever stop to think that maybe they're getting so extreme that some countries refuse to allow them to exist? That's why Russia banned them, because they labeled them an extremist organization. Now, I'm not excusing that necessarily. Obviously, the ban has only made the organization stronger. The ban was counterproductive in my fight against the organization. Not to mention the fact that they're basically creating thought crimes in Russia. I think people should be free to believe what they want without fear of prosecution. But again, this shit isn't new. This has been going on since the dawn of time. Jehovah's Witnesses have never been allowed in North Korea, for example. If that one's a little too on the nose for you, how about this one? They aren't allowed in China either. There are 1.8 billion people or something like that in China, a massive segment of the world population. They keep acting like this is a novel situation. It's not.
That video series has been affectionately called the basement video.
Well, I wouldn't say affectionately. Maybe Jehovah's Witnesses called it that affectionately, but all the apostates I knew called it the bunker video. Let's keep watching.
The serious question we want to ask ourselves is, would my Bible student or child be in the basement with those other faithful brothers and sisters?
The bunker videos were actually pretty long and had backstories for a bunch of the people. They addressed that exact thing in the clips. This is from the original bunker video from 2016. They had an outline they were supposed to follow at the convention when they presented the clip. Before showing the next clip, the speaker was supposed to lead up to it by saying, "In the following dramatization, we rejoin our brothers and sisters who are in hiding in a basement during the Great Tribulation. Notice the importance of working hard to overcome fear of man." Let's watch it.
I just don't get it. Kevin knows we're in the Great Tribulation. Why would he say he doesn't want anything to do with us anymore?
Darren, I thought you had heard by now.
Heard what?
When our message changed from good news to judgment, he was telling everyone that it would make problems for us and that he was done.
I can't believe it.
Darren, think about it. We have all tried to help Kevin.
Yeah, I remember.
Think back to Sunday afternoons when we preached in the northern estates. We asked if he wanted to go.
What did he give us today?
Well, we're gonna go to the northern estates and then...
Okay.
Hey, Kevin, do you want to join us? We're going up to the northern...
He said he had the weekend shift. Again. But that the people there have their paradise and they don't listen anyway.
And when we do public witnessing,
Hey, Kevin. We've been having great experiences out there at Turner Street.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, that's by your job. Do you get to talk to your coworkers about it?
He said it wasn't a good idea to make waves at the store.
An example of somebody who realized how fucking crazy these people were getting and jumped ship. Now they pity him. But I think this line right here needs a little more explanation because it gets even crazier.
When our message changed from good news to judgment, he was telling everyone that it would make problems for us and that he was done.
The message changed from good news to judgment. I've mentioned this before on my channel, but basically, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that there will come a time when we actually full-blown enter the Great Tribulation, and at that point, there's no more preaching to people. Oh, they'll continue going door to door trying to spread the word, but it won't be good news anymore. You won't have an opportunity to join. It'll be a message of judgment instead. They're just coming to tell you that you're fucked. You lost your chance to make it through alive. It's over. Pack it up. God's coming for you in his holy war. So naturally, I guess Kevin said it would make waves and cause problems, so he jumped ship. A sound decision, honestly. I'm just waiting for the day when Jehovah's Witnesses actually do start doing that, because it's gonna be an interesting day, to say the least. Let's keep watching.
For as much as we've all tried to help Kevin, he let his fear of man go unresolved.
Proverbs says, trembling at man is a snare. If Kevin couldn't preach with boldness during favorable times, imagine how much harder it was for him to loyally rely on Jehovah during this difficult time.
Yeah, now, during the Great Tribulation.
Open up.
I love it, dude. They're standing there like they're ready to fight. Like they aren't complete pacifists. Like they aren't just gonna stand there while they get arrested in a minute anyways. These people are beyond paranoid. They've been like this for a long time, but it seems to be getting worse as time goes on. At the end of the clip, they have another section the presenter is supposed to read to the audience. It says, had Kevin addressed his fear of man and accepted assistance to overcome it, he would likely have had the strength to remain loyal during the Great Tribulation. As demonstrated in the 4 videos, strengthening our loyalty to Jehovah now is essential to remaining loyal under future tests of faith, including the upcoming Great Tribulation. Now back to the JW Broadcasting episode. They played that clip from the bunker videos, and then they had this to say.
If a parent has shielded his child from viewing all scenes on the news or other visual images depicting negative realities, it's understandable that there may be a concern. However, as Brother Letts stated, parents need to give their children a realistic idea of what we will face in the near future.
They are obsessed with the idea that they're going to be taken out by world governments. It's bizarre. I really don't care what they think will happen. If it's psychologically damaging to kids, then they shouldn't show it, period. But for the record, I don't really think the stuff they show will be particularly psychologically damaging. It's not that graphic. The real psychologically damaging thing about this whole thing isn't just for the children. It affects the adults too. It's telling everybody they're going to be hunted down and imprisoned. That's psychotic. Not to mention the fact that they discourage people from doing anything with their lives because Armageddon is right around the corner. Don't bother getting a good education. Don't bother making outside friends. Don't bother having hobbies. Waste of time. Just put all your time and effort into proselytizing to people.
And I'm sacrificing some unnecessary things to put spiritual things first.
One of the blessings that Mom and Dad gave me was teaching me how to think and meditate on scriptures.
I'm thankful that I was able to avoid a lot of heartache, and that's because my parents raised me in the truth and Jehovah's way.
Put everything in your life aside, except for spreading the religion to other people. That's all you should be focused on. You should be thankful to your parents for teaching you that nothing else matters. College, art, relationships, hobbies, so you won't be heartbroken when you fail.
And we can say that we're good-for-nothing slaves and we have done what we ought to have done. And they keep loving and serving Jehovah. What's better than that?
This is the mindset they want people to have. They want them to view themselves as slaves. Unironically, it isn't hyperbole. They said it right in their monthly TV show, and they use that terminology in their language. The word apostate literally translates to runaway slave. If you aren't a believer anymore and you speak out about the religion like I do, you're considered a runaway slave, an apostate. I wear the label with pride. That's why I created the Apostate Refuge Foundation, a charity with the goal of helping people who've been kicked out and shunned by their friends and family, simply for not believing in the religion anymore. If you're interested in learning about it, check out the YouTube channel where I read letters of disassociation people wrote to their friends and family after becoming runaway slaves. The funds from that channel go straight to supporting the Apostate Refuge program, where I help people recover from religion. Also, check out the website, apostaterefuge.org. Anyways, that's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, you can support me in a few ways. First, there's Patreon. That's probably the best way. But if you want to get something back for your support, you can check me out on Teespring, or you can check me out on Etsy. I have a store where I sell all kinds of interesting stuff. Mostly it's 3D printed game stands. But I also sell these 2020 dumpster fire candle holders, or just regular dumpster fire candle holders. And I sell these signs. If you want to keep Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons from knocking on your door, put these out front. Jehovah's Witnesses aren't afraid of anything, except apostates. And you don't have to be an ex-Jehovah's Witness to be an apostate. The term applies to anybody critical of the religion. So if you want to keep them away, then consider getting one of these signs. All links can be found in the description and the pinned comment. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.